Why do powerful men always turn on each other? It's a question as old as power itself, and the answer lies in a story we all think we know. But we don't. Stay with this to the end, because what drives men like this to destroy the very alliances that made them stronger says something uncomfortable about all of us. Picture this: Butler, Pennsylvania, October 2024. Tens of thousands of people under an open sky. And then, from the side of the stage, a figure nobody quite expected. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, arms raised, jumping, grinning like a man who just bought something enormous. The crowd erupts. Trump watches from the podium with the expression of a man who recognizes, in another person's power, a reflection of his own. One sold the future, the other sold power. And for a while, they made each other look inevitable. This is the story of what happens when two men built entirely around dominance decide, briefly, conditionally, transactionally, that they need each other, and why that decision always ends the same way. Recognition. They don't look alike, don't speak alike, don't perform power the same way. Trump is theatrical, volcanic, attention is oxygen. Musk is cooler, internal, first principles over feeling. But the moment they found each other, something clicked. Not friendship, recognition. One looked at the other and saw something deeply familiar. Scale, status, immunity. A man with enough power to distort reality around him. That recognition, between two people who operate at that altitude, is more intoxicating than friendship, because it isn't built on affection, it's built on something stronger. This was never friendship, it was reciprocal inflation, two mirrors, each showing the other exactly what he most wanted to see. The trade. Psychology has a name for what happened next, strategic mirroring, but the trade between Trump and Musk was specific, deliberate, transactional to its core. Trump didn't just want Musk's genius, he wanted the validation of the world's richest technologist beside him, the legitimacy his money alone could never manufacture, proof that the future, the actual future, had chosen his side. Musk didn't just want reach, he wanted the levers of the state, the power to bypass the bureaucratic machinery that had frustrated him for years, access that no amount of capital could otherwise buy. The Department of Government Efficiency wasn't just a policy position, it was a direct bypass of the bureaucratic machine. It was the price of the alliance. And here is the part most people miss. Neither man was admiring the other. They were admiring what the other confirmed about themselves. Trump saw Musk and felt, I am the future. Musk saw Trump and felt, I am the power. That isn't an alliance, that's a mirror. And mirrors are only useful while they flatter. The narcissistic alliance. For a while, they made each other mythological. Trump absorbed Musk's aura of genius. Musk absorbed Trump's aura of dominance. Each became more powerful simply by standing next to the other. Psychology calls this a narcissistic alliance. Two status-driven personalities temporarily stabilizing each other's self-image. It works under exactly three conditions: clear hierarchy, separate territory, continued usefulness. Think of a solar system in perfect balance. Two massive bodies, separate orbits, each holding their own worlds in place, stable, seemingly permanent, until the orbits begin to overlap. Trump and Musk were stable for precisely as long as those three conditions held. Then, one by one, they collapsed. Status encroachment. The first thing to go was territory. Trump was political power. Musk was technological power. Different domains, different myths, no competition. But slowly, both men began competing for the same thing. Not money, not policy. Attention, cultural dominance, the right to be the most consequential man alive. Picture two storms, each enormous, each moving in its own direction, suddenly occupying the same sky. They don't negotiate, they don't yield, they collide. And the moment two men built around dominance compete for the same symbolic space, the alliance is already dying. This isn't disagreement, this is status encroachment. The charisma becomes competition. The pattern. You've seen this before: Caesar and Pompey, two generals, one map, neither willing to lift his hand first. The alliance held while power was distributed. It shattered the moment one felt smaller than the other. Jobs and Scully, clean roles, stable alliance. The moment authority overlapped, total collapse. Not because either man changed, because the structure couldn't survive equality. Nixon and Kissinger, two men who needed each other completely and trusted each other not at all. Two chess players, each convinced he was the one really controlling the board. Trump and Musk are not unusual. They are not exceptional. They are textbook. Two men who confuse mutual usefulness for loyalty. The bond felt real because the reinforcement was real, but the relationship was structurally incapable of surviving equality. Narcissistic injury. Here is where the psychology shifts. What was once strategic mirroring becomes narcissistic injury. The moment someone who once made you feel powerful starts making you feel threatened instead. Consider the physics of it. When two men each believe they are the center of the universe, only one can be the sun. The other becomes a planet, and neither of these men is built to orbit anyone else. So they don't react most violently to disagreement, not to criticism. They react to the specific unbearable sensation of feeling smaller because of the other person's existence. That is the trigger, not conflict, humiliation. Once that switch flips, everything that follows is about one thing only: reasserting the hierarchy. Rupture. The collapse always looks sudden from the outside. A post, a statement, a public contradiction from nowhere. Picture a sheet of ice, vast, seemingly solid, then a crack, running from edge to edge. The ice didn't break in that moment. It had been breaking for months. The crack is just the first visible sign of a fracture already total. Rupture. The goal is no longer alliance. It is reassertion. The other man must be reduced, not disagreed with, reduced, reframed as foolish, weak, fraudulent, replaceable. Because once admiration becomes rivalry, one man above, one man below is the only configuration either of them knows how to live in. But for men who control the tides of culture and politics, even a complete fracture isn't always permanent. Because when the stakes are high enough, the rules change. So, why do powerful men always turn on each other? Not policy, not ideology, not money. Because the relationship only works while each man makes the other feel larger. The moment one stops, the psychology flips. The most dangerous alliances in history were never built on hatred. They were built on mutual usefulness. And when that usefulness fades, the mirror cracks. Not because they stopped recognizing each other, because they recognized each other too well. There is only ever room for one sun. And the tragedy of men like this is that they knew it from the very beginning. They just each assumed they were the one. If this made you think, subscribe for more.